What is up, guys? Portland Retro Gaming Expo 2019 just happened, and I had some time in between running the booth to go pick up some games. Let's check out what I got for PRGE 2019. Okay, so we're gonna start off with a couple of Famicom games that I didn't actually know too much about when I originally picked them up. They were only a few dollars each, and the labels were interesting enough that I kind of just took a chance. The first is a shogi game, actually. Now, I'm not familiar with the game shogi. I've heard it's a lot like chess. I'm probably going to have to figure this out on the fly. I'm sure I'll watch a tutorial or something, but I picked this up just because the label art interested me. More importantly, the back label art actually interested me the most. I don't know how well you can see this. Maybe I'll have a little pan over shot, but basically it warns you not to melt it, not to smash it with a hammer, water it, or feed it to gators. So I'm not sure if this is a gremlin or not, but I love the humor behind this. Next up actually is a game I really didn't know much about. It looked like a 90s anime. I wasn't sure what it would be. Turns out it's more of like an RPG beat 'em up, and it is part of the Zodiac Knights series, which is something I'm actually unfamiliar with. Big shout out to one of my friends who helped me identify this game. Not sure I'll be able to play this one as well because it is an RPG and there are no English options, so I may be fumbling through this a bit too much to get the full experience out of, but I bought it because it looked cool. I like the shape of the cart, the color, and of course the kind of crazy cover art. So yeah, just a few more Famicom additions to the collection. And hot on the heels of that, I did actually pick up one NES game. Barring a few high-priced items, my NES collection is fairly complete, to me. Now, this one, I was really hoping was going to be along the lines of Base Wars. And for those of you not familiar with that game, it is a combination baseball robot fighting game, and it is just as awesome as it sounds. Now, the reason why I thought that is because this game is called Fighting Golf, and it's made by the Brawl Masters SNK. Unfortunately, it is just a standard golf game, one of very many on the system. Really a missed opportunity here to do something totally rad. But it was literally $2, so I took a chance. I'll still probably play it at some point, but man, if there's any homebrewers out there that want to change this into something real cool, take my idea and run with it. 100%. Next up is a more modern game. It's actually Killzone Shadowfall. Now, I've played the first two Killzones just a little bit. I did enjoy them enough to take a chance on this one. So actually, this game and the next three that precede it, I got as a package deal for $10. Now, one of the nice things at the Retro Gaming Expo is there are a few vendors that have these relatively newer games, some of them AAA titles, for very cheap, and you can oftentimes even get them cheaper if you negotiate a little bit. So that's how I got this game. For a few dollars, I'm willing to give a new Killzone on the newest system a chance. Never heard anything about it. We'll see if it's any good. Kind of going along with that line of playing PS2 games that I really liked. Red Faction, Guerrilla. Didn't know this was a thing either, but I really enjoyed the first two Red Faction games, and if this is anything like that, I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun. Now for a newer game that I am actually very excited to play, and I haven't had a chance to yet, that's Bayonetta. Now, I really wanted to pick up Bayonetta 1 and 2 for the Switch. Never got around to it just yet, but picking it up for the 360 for a few bucks, hell of a deal. And now this last one of the 4 for $10 deal, I played through the original Darksiders, and I didn't get super far in it. I probably put a couple hours into the game. Wasn't super impressed. Turned it off, planning on coming back to it at a later point. And just to this day, I've never really gotten around to it. So when I saw Darksiders 2 in that stack for a few bucks each, I kind of just took a chance. I don't know if I'll get around to play this anytime soon, but if it improves upon the original, I could see it being a lot better. So if that's true, I'm sure I will enjoy this more. And the last modern game that I picked up is the Steelbook copy of Destiny. And this is actually for the PS4. Now, I played through the original Destiny on 360, and I did enjoy it a fair amount. I didn't do a ton of playing through the game. I think I played through the majority of it. I played with some friends. I had a blast playing it. Never really took that enjoyment to Destiny 2, so I've yet to try that game. Probably never will. But this was also only a few bucks for a very clean copy of the Steelbook, and I just really like the design of it, and I have fond memories of the game, so I figure for that price it was kind of worth it to pick it up. Now we're getting into the retro stuff, and we're actually going pretty far back into retro because I managed to find a few Atari manuals. Now, one of the other nice things about the Portland Retro Gaming Expo is there is literally something for everyone. There's newer stuff, as you guys saw, and there is much older stuff, including hundreds of Atari games. Now, I'm a little bit out of my depth when it comes to Atari. I like to collect for it every now and then if I can find some for just ridiculously low prices. I do have an Atari system that I play every now and then. I would not claim to be any kind of expert at it, but one of the things that I do really appreciate about the Atari age of games is the cover art, and that is the reason why I picked these up. As you can see, the cover art for these is fantastic. Just knowing that these are paintings that someone physically made is just mind-blowing to me, that someone spent this much time creating this detailed art. And even further into the covers, like, that is so cool. I love these. I wish I could have found more of these to pick up, but I only found the three that were the most visually interesting, and these are the ones I grabbed. Less than $1 each for these two. Really, really cool. Keeping with the manual theme, I managed to complete my PS2 copy of Fistful of Boomstick. When I originally picked up the game, I got the disc and the case, and I was just missing the manual. So really happy to complete a really awesome game. Also, funny enough, ad for Red Faction on the back. Next up is a pair of PS2 RPGs. Now, this first one has been recommended to me a lot, and it's just something that I've never gotten around to pick up. It's not a rare game by any means, but it is Dark Cloud. Now, I know this is an essential PS2 RPG. I have not played it, like I said. I definitely mean to, but RPGs always get pushed further down in my backlog just because of the pure time commitment they take. I enjoy RPGs a lot, but it takes a certain kind of RPG for me to devote 70 plus hours into. The last one was The Witcher, actually, which we did play on stream fairly recently. I guess now is a good time to mention I do stream on Twitch, guys. If you're not already following me, twitch.tv/Rockhart. That's the only time I'm going to plug it this whole collection video. But you should check it out. It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun 3 days a week. Anyways, second PS2 RPG is actually one that I have the sequel to already, and that is Summoner. Now, both have been recommended to me a fair amount. I do not know a ton about them. I know that you have a party system and you summon monsters, hence the name. Beyond that, I am not too sure. I think it might be a card combat game. I might be mixing that up with another PS2 RPG. Make sure to tell me if I'm wrong in the comments. I won't take it personally. But this one looked super cool, and it was also super cheap, so I figured it was worth a shot. Now for the real meat and potatoes of the pickups. These are some things, these are actually the top 3 things I was most excited about. First off is a manual for Link to the Past. I know, I'm getting excited about manuals. So when I collect games, I collect the cartridge and the manual and the case if it is plastic. So I'll collect Genesis cases and obviously disc-based games that have plastic cases, but for systems like the NES and SNES, I really just feasibly can't collect cardboard. It's too expensive and too fragile, and I want these items to last. I want them to be able to be played with and to be able to open them up easily and not have to worry about tearing or any of that stuff. So when I collect for these kind of cartridge-based games, I actually use plastic clamshell cases, and I've talked about this in the past in previous collection videos and my room tour, so that I actually print out the cover art, and I have my own sorting system actually on the side too that helps me with game genre, number of players, all that stuff. Again, link to that video over there if you want to see a little bit more about that. But if I can collect the cart and the manual, I consider that game complete, more or less, for those games or systems with cardboard cases. So, very excited to finally get a manual for Link's Awakening. I know it's a fairly common game, but it's a very popular game, and you don't really see the manuals all that often just by themselves. And it was only a few dollars. Like, I think it was under $2. So, a steal of a deal, for sure. And the art in this, too, is just fantastic. I mean, so much love and care went into these manuals back in the day. It's just, it's honestly just a treat just to thumb through these. Even if you know how to play the game, even if you know everything there is to know about the game, the additional art in these manuals is just, it's awesome. Like, the fact that they took the time to do this, which is something that I do definitely lament, that modern games don't give two shits about manuals anymore. Is what it is, right? So, keeping with the Zelda theme, I got another manual. This one I'm actually very excited about because Link's Awakening is my favorite Zelda game. I recently played through the remaster on my Twitch stream. Had a blast. It was everything I wanted it to be. This was the very first Zelda game. Let me turn it right side up. This was the very first Zelda game I ever beat. I loved this game. Now, the copy, my childhood copy, is actually Legend of Zelda DX. And as you can see, this does not say DX down the bottom like it should. This is the manual for the original Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. I still have to get my hands on a copy of DX, but there's not a whole lot of changes in the manual, so I'm going to call this pretty good for now. But again, the art in these is just awesome. Like, even for a Game Boy game, took the time to do custom art, custom walkthroughs and tips, tricks. Like, yeah, that's seriously badass. Very excited to have this to go with my copy, and eventually I'll get my hands on a DX manual, but until then, this is more than sufficient. And finally, the #1 game I picked up at Portland Retro Gaming Expo, Luigi's Mansion. Ta-da! No, I'm actually very excited to finally have this in my collection. For those of you not familiar, the GameCube is my favorite system, not only to collect for, but to play. It is hands down the best system. And not having this in my collection was a pretty glaring omission, and one that I am very happy to have resolved. I went to the expo with the goal in mind to find this game, and I managed to do it for under eBay prices and complete. And if that's not a win, I don't know what is. So, yeah, there it is, my #1 pickup. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did. I am trying to get more videos out as soon as I can, guys. I know I say that every video, but I feel like after the craziness that was TwitchCon and Portland Retro Gaming Expo, I am going to have a little more stability in my schedule. So thank you guys again for watching. Take care, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.